Hey everyone, good evening, good morning. Wishing you all a very happy new year. Let's give another moment and then we can get started. Let's wait until 7:04. Okay, meanwhile, why don't we have the introductions? So I'll introduce myself and then we can get started with the introduction of the audience. Okay, so I am based out of Hyderabad, guys, and I have around 9 years of experience in data engineering. Initially, I have started my career as a ETL developer. At that time, that was the initial job that I used to pursue, and then slowly I moved into the analytics field where data engineering was involved. So from there, I started to have some fantasy around the Hadoop and the Spark. Slowly, we have migrated to purely Spark, and then from there, we started looking at the cloud services, and that's when I got into this cloud platform. So that's about me. And about this course, we are going to talk about this course a lot in this demo session. So that's a short version of me. And uh, yeah, over to audience. Does anyone want to get started with their introduction?
Yeah, I myself, Aaron. So I do have a work experience for almost 8 years. So I started my career with sysadmin. So currently I'm working as sysadmin, but there are some different projects that I do handle, and one of the projects is that I handle is like the analytics part. So the main reason of enrolling or taking here the demo is to just to understand what are the things we are going to learn here, so that I can upskills myself and I can get more better understanding into the analytics field, especially with the field of Azure Data Lake and other uh, things that we work with Azure in my organization.
Sure, Arun. That's a good introduction. Thank you. Um, who's going next?
Hey, hi, Venkat.
Hi.
Am I audible?
Hi. Yes, yes.
Yeah, myself, Pawan. I have around 7 years of IT experience, primarily working as a DevOps and site-related engineer, and where I have data but so where Data Studio and other tools have been used, and now we are trying to do chaos on data part of it, and explore.
Sorry, Pawan. There was you are breaking a bit, so we couldn't hear much. Uh,
Is it
as a-
okay?
yeah.
Okay, give me 1 minute. So how is my voice now?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So myself, Pawan. So I hold around 7 years of experience, primarily into DevOps and site reliability engineering, where I got a chance to work as a chaos engineer as well. So where we covered Azure Chaos Studio, and we are planning to do chaos on Azure Data. So we just want to explore what we are going to cover for the data in Azure. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Who's going next?
Yeah, hi. My name is Mahesh. I'm total having around 5 years of experience. This one data analytics field. So now I'm wishing to I have to move to data engineering. So I have to learn the what are the like ADF, ADB side. So that's the reason like I have joined this one class.
Okay. Thank you, Mahesh.
Yeah, thank you.
Who else is pending? Yeah, Vishal. You want to
Mm,
introduce?
Yes, Venkat. Myself, Visarjan. I have total 4 years experience. Currently, I am working in Azure Databricks from last 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to means learn deeply from the Azure Databricks side. Basically, I am become means Azure data engineer.
Got it.
That's why to explore
Thank you,
more.
Vishal. Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. Anyone else want to introduce themselves to the audience?
Hi, Divya this side.
Uh,
I am working as a performance test engineer with a total of 11 years of experience. So I have worked with the GCP as well as AWS, but on Azure I don't have any experience. So I wanted to explore this one.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Thank you, Divya. Um,
Thanks.
sure. Okay, we can get started, guys. So let me quickly allow the permissions and share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is the mobile details and the email details. In case if you would like to pursue this course further, please reach out to the HR team. Okay, I am going to present this slide again towards the end, but just wanted to highlight that this is the contact that you have to reach out to once you would like to pursue this. So we are going to get started with why we have to learn Azure Data Engineering today, right? So as most of you are already into analytics field, you might have already have a perspective about the data engineering in general. But let's talk about some of the basic aspects of why data engineering is going to impact a lot from the data perspective, right? So we all are aware that cloud is the new normal where most of the industries are now data driven industries, irrespective of where they are, where their business lies. It could be in a food delivery platform, it could be somewhere with a riding platform, or it could be somewhere at the social media platform. It doesn't matter. They are data driven today, so everything is closely related and coupled with the data. And all of this data, because the volume and the velocity of the data is becoming huge, they are looking at alternate options of storing everything in the cloud, right? That is how cloud has become the new normal. And as we can see that Azure is one of the top three cloud providers. The other two are AWS and GCP. We are going to talk about why Azure in a bit, but just a quick introduction about Azure, that it is one of the top three cloud providers. Okay. The other reason why we want to focus on this data engineering field is that it is having a high demand. There are so many various roles who are looking into transitioning into Azure data engineering. There are Power BI developers, there are ETL developers, there are some other analytics engineers who are actually looking to transition into data engineering, but unfortunately they couldn't transition well due to lack of the expertise, right? They don't have industry relevant expertise or industry relevant experience that they can show. So the problem is that there are so many people trying to switch to this role, but many of them are not able to crack this because they are not enough skilled, right? So that is creating a high demand for the genuine data engineers, right? Who are well versed with the concepts, who are well versed with some relevant experience, right? So that has created this demand, even though there are so many jobs out there, so many people applying. And the other reason is the pay, guys. So the data engineering is one of those roles whose pay is going to match with the SDE roles. Earlier SDE roles used to have a lot of trend, like they are the highest earners in the industry, but data engineering is one of those roles who is giving competition to the SDE roles, where the package is there is no bar, right? There is no bar to the pay, right? That is another reason why we should focus on the data engineering, right? The third point is that future-proof career. I have added this point because most of us, we started our jobs in a different profiles, in a different roles, but today we are getting into the data engineering field. Tomorrow we don't want to again switch back to another technology or another role, right? We want this to be future proof. We want this to be like this should give us another 10-year career or 5-year career. That's our vision, right? So that is how we are going to talk about. And this data engineering is actually one such area which is not going to change, even though there is a technology change, or even though there is a change in the industry. The way they are approaching data is going to change, but the role is not going to change. So I have seen some cases where the analysts or some other roles like ETL guys are those teams are going to be decommissioned, but the data engineering teams have never been laid off, or they were never replaced, right? So this career is going to be future proof because the underlying technologies are also going to give you an edge over the other roles, the analyst roles or BI roles. Okay. So when you learn Azure Data Engineering, there are certain roles that you can target. I have listed all of those roles here. And if you look at long-term value of why Microsoft or why Azure, because in every industry, in every organization, Microsoft is included in various manners. Like there are people who even work with AWS, but they still use some of the Microsoft ecosystem, right? So because the Microsoft's ecosystem is embedded into every single organization, it will become easy if you pursue this Azure data engineering, so that you will have a complete picture of Microsoft ecosystem, right? So this is not going to go away. That's the point. And also the other point that I would like to add is today what's happening is if you compare with AWS, Azure with AWS, within the AWS, what's happening is you would require a deep technical expertise. Okay. What I mean is you need to think a lot while you are designing the pipelines, or there is a steep learning curve in AWS. But whereas in Azure, it is a low code or no code services. Most of the Azure services are low code or no code, and also Azure is pretty flexible. Okay, so the advantage over here is because today we are moving towards this AI, and we are moving towards the ease of making things, right. We don't want to stress a lot on technical expertise, right? So that way Azure is a bit ahead in this process. AWS requires a deep expertise, so it is lagging a bit. Though it is a market leader, Azure is emerging fast and in rapid manner due to this sudden shift of doing things easily. Now that we have everything done by low code or no code softwares, the ease of doing things is given an advantage, and that's how Azure is ahead of AWS. Okay. So these are some of the success strategies that we usually talk with our associates. So what we wanted to tell you is the strengths of this course is that you have hands-on demos, and you have projects, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. We have tools that are used across the industries like Databricks, Kafka, Spark, and ADLS, ADF. Like I said, it is all about Azure. So these are some of the strengths that are focused towards this course. And though there are some strengths, we do have certain challenges. Sometimes you may feel like the information is overloaded because the course is designed in a way that this is a bit more advanced than you could think of. So at some time or at some point, you may think like there is some information overload. During that time, we are going to discuss and decide how you can calm down and how you can pursue or digest that information. Okay. The other challenge that we regularly see is time management. We are going to talk about the schedule of this course and all. At that time, I'll tell you how time management is going to happen. Success requirements and success opportunities, they are going to come with the way you are treating this course, right? So what we want you to do is whenever you have a chance, we want you to connect with the other peers in the group who are going to pursue this course, and maybe you can bring some conversations with them as to what they are doing, how they are learning further, right? You may explore some of the documentations available in Microsoft, so you get more perspective on those topics, right? Other than that, what we are doing is we are going to give you some Kahoot sessions, which we generally do as part of this course. Kahoot sessions means there is going to be a quiz organized for the entire group for most of the topics. Like you will have a Kahoot quiz for ADF, Spark, Kafka, and Databricks as well, some of the topics over there. So you will have to attempt those quiz, and that will evaluate your understanding on that topic, right? Other than that, we are going to share some assignments, specific assignments with you, which you are going to do it over the week as part of practice, because we don't want you to leave like that and say, okay, I have taught you the topic, now you go and practice. Okay, so we are going to give you some assignments. Those assignments you can pursue during the weekdays based on your comfort, and then we can discuss if needed. Otherwise, we will have some extra sessions also to go through that. Okay, that is another additional benefit that you are going to have. The other benefit that you are going to have with this course is that we are going to give you some e-PDFs. Okay, so there are some premium PDFs that generally are available at 2000 or 3000 Indian rupees in Amazon and other websites. So we have those PDFs that will share with you as a bonus, right? That is another benefit. The last benefit with this course is that we are going to have on-demand sessions where we will have doubt clearing concepts. We will revisit some of the topics based on the majority's opinion. Okay, if somebody felt that a particular topic needs to be revisited, we are going to have an extra sessions in between, and we will cover those topics without impacting the original audience or original course. Okay, so these are some of the bonuses that we are going to have with this course. Then yeah, these are some of the job statistics, guys. um, if you see, generally in the data engineering role, most of you are already in analytics role, so you might have already are aware. SQL is the most important skill today, even though there are so many other things going around, but SQL is still beating everything else, right? That is the primary skill that you need along with Python, because Python is closely related to machine learning, closely related to the data analytics. So Python is the second best. Spark is obviously because of the distributed computing that it offers. Now Databricks, it is optional. I don't know, because in this course we have Databricks. I don't want to focus or highlight Databricks. There are other options as well. There are people who do Snowflake plus DBT plus Airflow. Even they are data engineers, right? Databricks is also an option. It is not a mandatory thing, but the above three are mandatory to learn, right? And the important part here is that if you see the Azure specific skills, and this data is coming from internet, guys. Okay, so if you see the Azure specific skills are also mentioned. So after this session, right, if you have some, if you can give yourself a minute, please open LinkedIn or Naukri and just search for Azure Data Engineer. See how many jobs are there in the portal. And if you go through the description, you will definitely find these four. Other than these four, you will have some Azure services. So, and there are so many jobs like this in the LinkedIn itself. Okay. So, these are some of the statistics and job trends as well, wherein the analysts and scientists are a bit behind because of the advancement of technologies, right? Because the analyst role is completely occupied or taken away by the data engineer, and to some extent there is BI team also, and the scientist is I don't think scientist is playing a key role today. because of this LLMs. Um, there is a very less requirement of scientists creating a model or creating a machine learning things from the scratch, right? Cool. So before we talk about the course details, anything that any one of you want to ask or want to include, want to share? Okay, I'll take it as a no. Um, so this is the, if I have to categorize or if I have to define our course in six main high level topics, these are those six topics, guys. So we are going to start with foundations from the day zero. I'm going to show what foundations means in a moment. But the foundation generally means we are going to talk about very basic terms like what is compute, what is memory, what is the latency, what is throughput, what is network bandwidth, etc., etc. What are pipelines, batch processing, real-time processing, and all. We'll start from there, and then we will pick the basics of the data lake, data warehouse, and data lake house, and then we will pick the basics of Azure, right, here in the week two. And what we are going to do is we are going to start exploring the Azure services in detail. So we have so many services in Azure, right? The services that are related to the data engineering world. We are going to touch base on each of the topic as much as possible in the detailed depth. Okay, and then we are going to talk about the pipelines, wherein we are going to discuss about how pipelines are implemented in Azure. If we have to implement a pipeline end to end in Azure, we are going to talk about that and how we can orchestrate, how we can create CI/CD or Git based workflows. We are going to talk about that. Then we will quickly move to processing the data because pipelines are going to give you the ingestion, right? This is going to talk about how your data comes into a particular system, into Azure system. Then we will have to deal with processing of that data because the data is ingested now. We are going to talk about how we can process that data. Whenever the data is ingested, how we can process the data. So there we are going to talk about some of the techniques in SQL, like how traditionally it happens before Spark or in the source system, and then we will talk about the real-time streaming and batch data both. Okay, we have a project here. I'll talk about that in a bit. Okay, so this is high level as to what we do in the processing. And then we are going to do the same data processing with using Databricks, right? We will talk about how ADF is different from Databricks and why industry is moving towards Databricks than ADF and all of that. And we will also talk about some of the advanced features in Databricks. Okay. Then we will quickly complete everything, whatever we have learned using projects. Now, because the projects is listed here as the sixth item, doesn't mean we are going to do projects towards the end. We are going to do it on the fly. So when we are talking about pipelines, right, then only we are going to prepare projects. Similarly, in the processing window, we are going to prepare the projects here. Same goes for Databricks. Okay. So it will be like you will be discussing topics and immediately you will do a project. And I am going to do that project and I'll explain how it happens. Okay. So that's a high level overview. So this is another detailed level of the weekly course structure, right? So we are going to go through all of these modules. These are some of the modules that we are going to cover. Like I mentioned, in the early weeks, we are going to talk about data warehouse to lakehouse. Then we will get started with Azure services here, right? Storage and access. Guys, give me 1 minute, please. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so the SQL pipeline development is the third one that we are going to do, wherein we are going to talk about advanced SQL and Azure SQL, and then we will get started with the pipeline development. Then in the week 5, we are going to talk about how we can prepare the pipelines and automate it, right? And then we will talk about the DevOps. So within Azure, we have something called Azure DevOps, which will manage your CI/CD, Git integration, and versioning. Okay, that we are going to apply on the pipelines that we are going to prepare. Along with that, we will also talk about how a pipeline should be monitored, how we can send alerts to the teams in case if it doesn't succeed, right? How we can estimate the cost and all of that starting from week 5. Okay. In week 6, we have some advanced SQL topics wherein we will talk about the stored procedures and triggers in SQL, right? Some of the advanced concepts in the SQL Server. Okay. We are going to use SQL Server here. And then we will introduce ourselves to Kafka. So Kafka is basically widely used for streaming data. So what we are going to do is we are going to cover this in that week, explaining what Kafka is, how data can be processed in Kafka, how Kafka serializes and deserializes data, etc., etc. We will also touch base on the event hubs, Azure event hubs. So Azure event hubs is going to be used for streaming data in general, and we will ingest the data using Kafka to event hubs, and from event hubs we will move the data further to our Azure Data Lake storage. Okay, from there we can pick it for processing. Okay, then we will cover the Spark and Databricks in depth. I'll show you how much depth we are covering in these topics, because these Apache Spark, Databricks, Lakehouse implementation, these three topics are covered in depth, guys. Okay, so then we have Lakehouse implementation. So Lakehouse implementation is the current expectation from every single data engineer, irrespective of where they are implementing this, because the warehouses, the traditional warehouses are no more used. So everybody has to prepare this Lakehouse. So we are going to use Databricks to implement Lakehouse, and we will talk about some of the Databricks features. Recently, 2 months back, we have received major updates to Databricks. If you are already following it, that's fine. Otherwise, we will also continue discussing about those recent updates. Like we have Lake Base, Lake Flow Connect, right? Lake Flow declarative pipelines. So we will talk all of that in this course. And week 11 to 12, I have also included some of the admin level or access level or permission level details. And also I have included the warehousing concepts within Databricks. So you also have a perspective of how an analyst uses the warehousing. Okay. So the DB SQL that you see here, that is Databricks SQL, that is generally used by analysts. So we will also prepare Databricks dashboards, and we will see how analyst is going to use the Databricks for warehousing. Okay, so we will start with basic data modeling, ETL, ELT concepts, and we will reach to a point where we are doing everything within data lake. Okay, that's going to be our journey. And if you look at this, so we have close to 15 projects, right? And in the 15 projects, not all 15 projects are relevant to the industry. There are some foundational level projects which are particularly or specifically curated, so you get a chance to understand the concepts quickly. Like for example, in the week 1, we have two projects. One is to design a relational data model and the dimensional data model. Because these, if I explain the theory and if I don't complete a project, I feel it is incomplete, right? So what I planned is I have included these two projects so our concepts are clear, and we also have some experience with us when we do this project, right? So that is the main purpose of curating some of the projects here. However, there are some projects which are industry relevant, like you see in week 4 and 5, week 6, right? In week 9, if you see implementing lakehouse architecture using ADF and Databricks, and week 11, week 12, all of these are industry level, enterprise level projects. Even in week 6, we are going to use streaming data using Kafka and event hubs. So there are around 8 to 10 industry relevant projects, and there are 5 projects that are included because to gain some practical experience or practical exposure to those concepts. Okay, so this is more or less related to projects. And as you can see here, the key technologies, we have Azure, we have three projects for ADF because ADF holds more weightage in this entire course. And then we have one real time streaming project. Okay. Other than this, we also are going to see how streaming happens here in Databricks. Then we have two projects on the PySpark. So you get an understanding of transforming data using PySpark. Then in the Databricks, we have three projects, right? So three projects in ADF and two projects in Spark and three projects in Databricks. These are all industry recognized and industry level projects. And adding to that, you have these two projects, which is this is going to be the first project is going to be purely on SQL. So you get a deep understanding of if you are not going to use this ADF or Databricks, how it happens in the traditional SQL server. Okay, then this is about the event hubs. Okay, these are two extra industry level projects that we are going to do apart from whatever we discussed before. Any questions so far from anyone?
What are the services you'll be using Azure services for doing this course?
Yes, so we are going to use Azure Data Lake Storage and then Azure SQL, Azure Data Factory, Azure Logic Apps, Azure Event Hubs, and then Databricks, Key Vault, and DevOps.
Will you be given those labs to us also, the permissions, the
No.
Azure?
So are you asking if we are going
We
to
want
give
to
you
do
the
any kind of
access?
yeah, if you want to do any kind of project in Azure, then we need the access for those, right? So will this access be given to us, or how will you do the hands-ons when we want to practice those projects?
Yeah, that's a relevant question. So we will have to create our own Azure accounts. You are going to receive 1 month free access. You are going to receive a $200 credit when you create Azure account for the first time. For Databricks, we have a free account for lifetime, which we are going to use for practicing. So Databricks is sorted. For Azure, you have to create a free trial account that is going to give you $200 credit and 1 month validity. Okay. So for the second month, what you can do is you have to change the credit card or debit card, whatever card you are going to use, and then you have to change the mobile number. That is going to give you another 1 more month free account. Okay. So in case if you don't want to incur or if you don't want to pay any amounts, but in general, what I recommend I recommended the same to my previous batch also. See, practice will never stop. It shouldn't have a deadline like 1 month or 2 months, right? When we start the course, maybe it's okay to practice using free accounts, but at some point of time, you will start to pay. So what I recommend is, um, whenever you are starting this practice, right, start with the normal account. It will not cost a lot because what we are going to do is immediately we'll terminate all of these services. Whatever we create, right, we will terminate it. So it will not throw much cost. So I recommend going with normal Azure account with paid subscription, and that is going to give you a benefit of exploring everything. In free account, sometimes you will not be allowed to use premium services, right? Sometimes it happens. So that's my recommendation, but it is up to you. So the labs and all, we are going to create it for yourself. Okay, good question. Any other question, guys?
With this course, what are the certification we are covering? Like DP203, are you covering this?
Yeah, that's a very good question. DP203 is dropped from the Azure Microsoft. So there is no future DP203 certifications. So what we can do is first we will get started with the DP900 in case if you would like to pursue the data fundamentals. So that is lifetime free certificate, but you have to pay it to attempt the exam after successfully passing the exam, the certificate will have lifetime validity. That is the first basic certification that we can do from the Azure side. Okay. Then we can pursue the Databricks Data Engineer Associate certification and Databricks Data Engineer Professional certification. There is also Apache Spark Developer certification from Databricks. So we can pursue all these four certifications to get started with this um, career. But um, once you have this expertise, right, certifications are uh, not much required. That's what I want to say. And also, those certifications, what we can do is I'll let you know once we have certain events. So there are certain events hosted by Microsoft and Databricks. Every year they will do it twice or thrice. During that time, they will give you vouchers. Okay, so they will give you vouchers. During when you want to plan for this certification, right? You have to get those vouchers by completing their courses. They will give you some courses to complete. Once you complete, you will be given a voucher. So once you go through that course and once you complete that course, once you get that voucher, the certification price is going to be reduced a lot. Okay, so I'll let you know, but those are the certifications that you can pursue. Cool. What other questions you have? Okay. I'll proceed. So the learning outcomes, guys, in general, we all want to understand how much this course is going to benefit us in each of these areas that you are seeing. So data engineering skills, this covers 95%. I wanted to say 100%, but again, I have kept 5% for um, just for separate things. So data engineering skills, this course is purely relevant to what we are going to do in the industry as well. Then Azure platform proficiency, this 90% is going to include only about those services that we'll do as part of our daily job in Azure data engineering role. Okay, there are a lot of Azure services. We are going to discuss about only the services that a data engineer generally does. So in that aspect, 90%. Okay, so Azure platform proficiency in terms of Azure data engineer. So pipeline development, the reason I have mentioned it 85% is because the I don't want to tell you this that we are going once we are done with these projects and with this course, right? You will become a master of pipeline development. No, the answer is no, because it will cover some scenarios. It will cover around 70 to 80% of the scenarios that you get to see in your day-to-day job. But sometimes what happens is there will be some new scenarios where you are going to discuss with your architects and your product owners, and there you have to debug and identify how you want to design that pipeline. Okay, there is no straightforward answer to pipeline development. Okay, it all comes with some discussion, some conversations with your peers. So even if someone else tells you that, okay, if you do this way of course, you will get a end-to-end pipeline development. That is wrong. Okay, we will touch base on certain scenarios, but that doesn't mean you will gain 100% knowledge on how pipeline is developed. Okay, I want to highlight that. Analytics implementation, again, I have mentioned 88%. The reason is we will include as much as possible with our projects and with the SQL and PySpark that we are going to cover. However, it also depends on certain scenarios that you will be seeing in real time when you go and do a hands-on things, right? So sometimes when maybe we will implement it in SQL here and in industry they will implement it in PySpark. Maybe we'll do it in PySpark here and they will do it in SQL there. So you need to have perspective on both the sides. So that's why I don't want to put 100% on any of these parameters, because there is definitely a chance of um, seeing new things. Okay, data engineering, as few of you might have already are aware, that it is not a bookish job or a something that is, there is no straightforward roadmap. Okay. So this is about the technical mastery and industry readiness. I have included this. So just to guide you through what happens from a technical perspective when you pursue this course and how it is related to the industry. What are we including here? So if you see the last point here, we have mentioned that portfolio development guidance, guys. So most of the places where you look at for some courses, right? What happens is they will teach you everything. They will teach you the projects also, but when you don't prepare a portfolio for yourself, right, you cannot stand out in front of others. When you go for an interview, what happens is that we have a lot to explain. We have a lot in our resume as well. But if we can showcase it to the recruiter properly through a portfolio, that doesn't create a better impression, is what we feel. And based on our past experience, also what we thought is we will guide you through preparing portfolios as to including these projects also. You can include these projects. If you have any past experience, you can convert that experience into Azure Data Engineering and you can put it in a portfolio. We will talk about that portfolio as we proceed further in this course. And then you can showcase it on your LinkedIn, and then you can showcase it on your GitHub or wherever you want to highlight this on Naukri and other platforms. We will help you. We will guide you to prepare that portfolio also. Okay, I'll also show you certain examples as we progress towards that phase, where my previous students have already prepared some portfolios and they have highlighted those. Okay. So that's something that I want to talk about portfolio development. And also one more call out here. Um, we will guide you with the technical terms and how you can shape your career in Azure. But we will not be able to help you with the resume guidance um, or um, placement guidance and all, guys. Okay. So this is another thing that I want to highlight. Okay. What other questions you have? This is a short discussion, so conversation. So I wanted to keep it short by including very less slides. So what other questions you have? I'll quickly move to the course details. 1 second. Yeah. You can ask any questions that you have. Otherwise, we will talk about the schedule, the duration of this course, and how it is designed.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know if there are any prerequisites that I need to have before joining this course.
Yeah, that's a very good question. The only prerequisite to join this course is to understand SQL. So we are going to cover SQL in a bit advanced level. So if you are already aware about SQL in general, like writing the DDL and EML commands, how you write simple queries, the basic SQL, if you are aware, that is enough.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions?
I have one question. For this one, like, what are the things we need to learn in Python?
No, for Python, you need to have a basic understanding, but that is still not prerequisite. That is not mandatory because once we move towards Spark, I'm going to touch base on Python basics, and that is part of this course. So if you are already aware about using pandas and using Python in general, that is a great thing. Otherwise, we are going to touch base on all of those within this course. So it's not a prerequisite. It's a good to have. Um,
Okay. In
Technology.
Databricks also, like, we are using Python, right?
Yes, that is PySpark, and you are right. It is Python. Spark is written in Python in Databricks. So before we reach there, I am going to walk you through pandas and Python.
Sure. Got it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if you are already aware, it's good. But we generally have audience from multiple industries and multiple areas. So we thought of covering that while we go there. Uh,
Yeah.
but for SQL, generally it is expected to have basic understanding of SQL because SQL is generally used in multiple roles. Python
Yeah.
is used in limited roles, but
Yeah. Again, like Windows, CT, store procedure. Anyway, this will be like need, right?
yes, that will be part of this course. So you have, let me show it. Yeah, if you see here, we have CTEs, indexes, and stored procedures. We also have a project that this is a very good project. We will cover the stored procedures, triggers, and indexes and CTs and all here. So we have advanced level topics here. It's just that we need to have some basic understanding before we reach there. Okay. Yeah, good
Yeah.
question. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Will we be doing any API integration in this
We
course?
do, yeah. So we are going to create some web activities in the data factory to connect data from APIs. But let me be honest here. There will not be any authentication and the uh, authorization. It will be anonymous API access. So we have some public APIs. We are going to gather the data from public APIs. So that is part of this course. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, what other questions do you have? Okay, I can quickly walk you through this course syllabus also. So as you can see here, day zero, the reason I say day zero is this is something additional that we are doing and this is not part of the course. Like I said, we will get started with the basic terms here. I maybe most of you are already aware, but I still want to cover this so that all of us are on same page. We will also talk about the types of data in general, like what is unstructured, structured, and semi-structured. And before this, we have something to talk about that is about the data analyst, data engineer, and data scientist. I have some beautiful screenshots that I will walk you through. Let me open this. So this is, I believe my screen is visible, right? So this is how we are going to get started in our first session. So I'm going to walk you through how a data analyst work using this screenshot that I have. And also I have the same for data engineer. So we are going to talk about how a data engineer works, how a data analyst work, how they are going to relate with one another, how data architect is going to help data engineer, the roles and responsibilities. We will get started with that, and then we will discuss the data fundamentals. Okay, that is going to be our day zero. Then from day one onwards, we will get started directly with warehouse and data lake and data lake house because those are some fundamental terms again. And then we will get started with data modeling. Most of the time, we understand the ER diagrams, but we don't understand the conceptual, logical, and physical data modeling. So we'll cover that with some small project. And then we will do the OLAP also, which is going to be for your destination data modeling, that dimensional data modeling. And we will also quickly talk about SCD types. We have so many SCD types, and we will talk about that in detail. The reason we are talking about SCD types in day two is because this is going to be used in Data Factory and Databricks both. Okay, and this is the most important skill for experienced data engineers. So that's why I wanted to include it here. So we cover the basics of SCD types. Then we have the storage details and the basics of cloud. So we will talk about CapEx and OpEx. If you are already aware, it's good. Otherwise, we'll touch base. And we will talk about the Azure terminologies because this is basics and the data redundancy. All of these are fundamentals of cloud. Okay, fundamentals of cloud. Then we will introduce ourselves to Azure storage. We will do certain demos within the Azure storage. And then later we will continue with the Azure storage and we will do a project. Now, in this project, we are going to build a data lake and we will try to optimize it by creating some policies, by creating some tiers, right? We will use all of the concepts that we have learned and we will see how we can reduce the cost here. Okay. Then we will get started with Azure SQL. Okay. Azure SQL, within Azure SQL, there are some various services. We will also try and see how you can provide access, how you can bypass the firewalls. There are some firewalls that you need to bypass, okay, while accessing this. And we will do a project and I am going to give you an assignment also. Okay. So that you can do it by yourself. Then we'll get started with Data Factory. And like I mentioned, there is a lot in Data Factory that we are going to cover. You can go through this course here. I can share the link. Okay. Then we will start with pipeline development. We will see some of the activities, though I have mentioned only 4 or 5 activities here. I don't want to occupy a lot of space, but we are going to touch base on other activities as well. Okay. Then we will talk about how to dynamically prepare the pipelines. And here you see Azure Key Vault, right? How you can securely establish connections, even though when you have secrets, how you can use Key Vault. Then we have project explaining everything that we have covered theoretically on the same day. Okay, this is on day 7. And if you see, the project is also on the same day. Then on day 8, again, we will talk about data flows. So this is the transformation in the ADF itself. If you want to do transformations, here only you can do. So we will talk about some of the activities and see here I told you, right, we will implement SCD types using ADF and Databricks. So here we are implementing it using ADF as a project. Then we are going to talk about integrating Git. I don't want to do it before I talk about Data Factory. I don't want to do Git integration here itself. Um, so I have made it separate. Uh, Then we are going to do another project and then we will use the Git integration using this project. Okay. Then we are going to have logic apps. Within logic apps, we are going to use these pipelines that we have prepared and we will talk about how you can monitor the pipelines, how you can schedule the alerts and all, right? Then we will do a deep dive on SQL like we have seen and we will do a project. This covers only SQL, guys. Okay, this project is purely on SQL. And then we will talk about streaming data. Okay, so how Kafka is going to give an advantage in real-time data. Okay, what are some of the serialization and deserialization topic? This is very interesting when you actually cover the serialization and deserialization. And then we'll also talk about which file format. Okay, and we will get started with event hubs and stream analytics. These are Azure services wherein you are going to stream the data from Kafka. Okay. And we will see why we are not using Kafka directly in Azure, why we are going with event hubs, what are the advantages and all. Then we have the real-time data project in the same day. Then it will be Spark. Like I talked about, I am going to cover Python and Pandas here. And then we are going to do a project. Then we'll talk about what is distributed computing, why we need Spark, and what are some of the advantages over MapReduce. Okay. And then we will continue with the Spark. As you can see, we have included every single topic that is part of Spark, right? Even we have included some read modes, right? How to process bad data. Even reading and writing also we have included. And if you see, we have included all sort of transformations. We have a project that covers end-to-end transformations. Okay, then we have some advanced topics like shuffles and how you can analyze the different aspects of Spark. Then we will introduce ourselves to Databricks. So here, if you can see this Lakeflow Connect, right? This Lakeflow Connect was recently released in the month of October, September, October, along with the other major features. So we have included that as well. We are going to touch base on the latest features, and we are going to see how Databricks works with Azure in the backend. Okay, what are ARM templates, what are managed resource group and all. Then we'll get started with Lakehouse implementation, which is specific to Databricks. Okay, so how Databricks is solving problems of the so many organizations. I'll show you a case study also for some organizations, and I'll walk you through how it happens. Okay, we have so many topics covered here. As you can see, there are very basic topics and there are advanced topics also, wherein we are going to design a lakehouse using ADF and Databricks together. Okay, so we will also talk about how you can access the storage accounts within Databricks, and then we will get started with some of the pain points using file formats and how Delta Lake and Delta tables are going to help you. Okay, what are the disadvantages and advantages? Okay, so there is a lot, guys, and Lakeflow declarative pipelines. This is also a recent thing that is launched, and we are going to do two projects here. Okay, and then we will have a declarative pipelines and how you can do declarative pipelines. Um, what are different ways of scheduling it. Then we have data warehousing. The reason I have put it here is I also wanted to provide the perspective of the data analyst. Okay, generally data warehousing is primarily used by the data analyst in Databricks, but I have included it so you understand. Okay, there are certain specific features like row filter and column mask. We will see that in action. Okay. So as I discussed, we do have a Kahoot sessions for important topics, and we have some assignments. There are some ebooks that I'm going to share, and there will be doubt clearing sessions on demand. There is the demand word is missing here, but we do have a doubt clearing sessions on demand as well. So we will do some polls in the group, and if they are interested, we can do the sessions on demand. Okay, so this is the overall course walkthrough as to what we are going to do and how we are going to pursue this course and how our journey is going to be. But like I said, we need a dedicated uh, discipline and attention from each one of you to um, actually pursue this course with proper interest. That's the only expectation, and you need to have a bit of SQL understanding because it is really tough for me to help you with basics of SQL. With this much of course, right? There is so much of topics that we have to cover, and SQL basics SQL is the prerequisite. Okay, so we have decided that we are going to do this course in the batches in weekends. So maybe you are already aware, but I just want to reiterate that we are going to do it in batches in weekends. So it will be on Saturday and Sunday. Most probably it will be at 7 a.m. Sorry, 7 p.m. To 9 p.m. in the IST. Okay, so I stay in India. I apologize for not being able to convert it to US and UK shifts, but in the India time zone, it will be during 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. On Saturday and Sunday. Only weekends, because we all are working professionals, we thought weekends would make more sense. So you get enough time to practice also. Okay. What other questions you have? So let me share the link in the chat.
Venkata, there is a question. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
s- the like you earlier mentioned, day one, day two, day three in each week. So are you saying that those 3, 4 days will be covered in 4 hours per week?
Yeah,
2 hours.
so day one is 2 hours, day two is 2 hours, like that.
Okay, so I think you have more than like in a week we have sometimes 3 days or 4 days also, right?
Yeah, so it will be on Saturday, Sundays only.
Okay, so
So
it will get extended like more than 3 months also. Any specific duration? Basically, I'm asking like how many months I'm asking.
yeah, so this is a 12-week course. Okay, so 12-week course, and it will be only during weekends. So Saturday 2 hours and Sunday 2 hours. Saturday is considered as a day and Sunday is considered as a day here. So this is designed in that way.
Okay.
Okay, so in if I say week one, in the week one we have day one and day two. So day one will be on Saturday for 2 hours and day two will be on Sunday for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have week two because from Monday to Friday we are not going to continue. We'll again meet on Saturday. And on week two, day three is Saturday and day four is Sunday, so on and so forth. Though you see so many topics here, they are like basic fundamentals like capex and opex is just a theoretical topic that we will discuss. Similarly, the public private hybrid clouds is again a theory topic. So whenever there is a project, right, then we are going to um, align between the theoretical topics as well as the project. So I'm going to divide the 2 hours for 1 hour as project and 1 hour with these topics. Okay, so that's fine. I mean, that is manageable.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, what other questions we have? Okay,
At end of the course, if we are done, we have practiced well and we have followed your instructions, everything.
mhm.
Then uh, how many means how good we are going into the real industry and working and real time once we are
You
done and we,
mhm. Yes, so you will be immediately ready for this course. If you are going to use that weekdays for practice, I recommend at least 30 minutes to 1 hour of regular practice during the weekdays. If you are doing that within this course duration, you will be industry ready as soon as we complete this course. Because what you are going to do is when we are completing a topic on Saturday and Sunday, from Monday to Friday, you are going to practice those topics, right? So you will be well versed with those topics before we meet on a new topic next week. So that
yes,
is the
yes,
whole
got
intention
it.
of this course. So if you it entirely depends on how you are spending your Monday to Friday. If you are going to spend 30 minutes to 1 hour on the topics we have covered previous Saturday and Sunday, by the time we reach next Saturday or Sunday, you will be already versed with these concepts because that course is designed in a way that these topics will not take much time for you to understand and practice, right? So that way you will be able to immediately become ready. That's what I
Okay.
feel because you get
Okay,
five
and
days.
yeah, I got you. I depends upon how much we do the practice. If we are following your practice and everything, we are good to go for the. We are industry ready then. That's what you say. Okay, I got it. And one more thing, are you going to give any theory for reading? You are going. You're saying that there would be theory and project, right? Project anyway, we will be following you and we will be doing it. Or for what about theory? To refer theory, are you going to give any material or any PDF files, anything or?
So, yeah, that's a good question. We are going to discuss it live. Theory, as in, I'm going to directly explain you how it works in terms of like maybe using Notepad or Excel or some software. I'll explain you how it works. In case if you really need documentation. See, my perspective is I don't want to provide any PPTs or PDFs and divert you from the official documentation. My whenever I learned the topics, I always learned it through the official documentation. So what I can do is towards the end, I am going to give you the official Microsoft documentation for that topic. In case if I don't find a topic, or let's say if I don't find official Microsoft documentation, I'm going to give you a article or a PDF or something that will walk you through that topic. But please do not expect any notes or material, as this is a live uh, course. So all the sessions will be live and it will be taught within the class.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's what I want to refer some document. Okay, okay, you will be giving the Azure document and okay, that's good. That's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, good questions. Any other questions from anyone? We have 1 more minute, guys. Then we will wrap it up. And tomorrow we don't have any class. This is our first conversation. Our next conversation will happen on January 9th. So on that day, we will get started with day zero. As I promised, I'm going to explain the roles and then the fundamentals. From there, we'll proceed.
Jan
Okay.
9th or Jan 10th?
Yeah, Jan 10th. My bad. I didn't check the calendar. I just
No,
count.
no, I'm just asking. I got
Yeah,
confused.
sorry. It'll be Saturday, next Saturday. That's easy.
Yeah, that's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be next Saturday. So, okay, cool. We'll wrap this up. Then thank you so much for attending our initial class. Yes, Syed, you will always have the recordings with you. We also are part of the group, right? Common group, so we can connect and discuss there also, and one to one also you can connect. And also, I am going to share few posts occasionally. You might have already seen some of the posts that I have shared as to how the CSV file is larger than the Parquet and how latency and throughput works, etc. So I'm going to share those posts also occasionally so you understand the concepts in a short way, like a YouTube reel or Insta reel. So that is also going to happen. So the group is going to be active and you will also have the recordings. Every day, the Isha team is going to upload the recordings and they are going to share the links. Okay, they are going to share the links within the group for you to refer and follow. Okay, that's a good question. Any last minute questions before we wrap this up?
So the next Saturday, the classes are starting, correct?
Yes, it's January 10th or next Saturday. I think it's January 10th. Yeah. Okay, so we will give ourselves a week time and we'll come prepared. So that's all I have. And if you have any follow-up questions, I understand that this is a lot to discuss. You can discuss at later point of time also. I think you already have the course details in the chat here. You can reach out to Isha team for any other course related questions. If you have any technical questions, feel free to ping in the group or reach out to me personally. That's fine. Okay. That's all I have, guys. Thank you so much for spending time here. And I once again wish you all a very happy new year. In case if we don't meet again, then have a great uh, rest of your weekend. Thank you all.
Same to you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.